My Seminoles won yesterday, absolutely destroying the number 5 LSU Tigers. Pulling away late in the game, scored 45-24. The game, the final score actually would depict that it would have been a runaway game. But if you sat down and you watched the game last night, it wasn't a runaway game. Hell, at halftime, LSU was up 17-14. LSU quarterback Jayden Daniels. Let's talk a little bit about him. Jayden Daniels, he had 347 yards, touchdown, and an interception. Jayden Daniels, as electric as he is, and I'm one of those guys saying that I do see the potential in him. I do see the raw athleticism. He's fast, man. But at times last night, he did not look like the quarterback of a top 5 school. There were times last night where I'm looking at him and I'm saying, well, there's no way he can get the ball down the field. Consistently, he's overthrowing receivers. The balls are dropping at the receiver's feet. And then there were times I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, I hope somebody catch this, man. Somebody tackle this brother. Jayden Daniels from LSU, he reminds me a lot of Anthony Richardson from Florida. One of those prototype quarterbacks that you could kind of mold into what you want to be. Maybe a good customization for the LSU coach. So we'll see how that go. How they trail throughout the season. Jordan Travis from FSU. 342 yards, 4 touchdowns, and an interception. It was times Jordan Travis, he didn't look like a quarterback from a top 10 school. It was times last night while I'm sitting there yelling at the TV, hey man, run, you got a lane open, run. Or it's times I'm telling him, throw the ball here, he overthrows it there, he throwing it into 5 LSU cornerbacks there. And then it was times where it was like, okay, the game was slipping away from us because LSU was just handing the game over to us and then we was handing it back to them. But it were times that Jordan Travis was on his ish last night, especially late in that third quarter when he finally settled in. I agree. The first half, maybe the first 3.5 quarters of your first game, first college football game, not his first college football game, but the first college football game of the season, it tends to be a little bit of jitterbug. So I could quite honestly say that he did settle in the last half of the game, you know, within maybe 6-7 minutes of the third quarter, we did see the Jordan Travis that we all know and love. Johnny Wilson had 7 targets for 104 yards. Johnny Wilson had a couple drops in the beginning of the game too. Johnny Wilson had maybe 2-3 big drops. I know one drop for sure where he was running on a inside post route and Jordan Travis put that ball right down on the money. But Johnny Wilson was scared of that safety coming by to knock his head off. Johnny Wilson 6'7", so we're going to have to get over him. You know, he got to start catching the balls much better. He's 6'7", he's a big guy. But he did come along, he did finish strong. He did have 2 drops, but he did finish strong for 7 targets and 104 yards. Our big Michigan State transfer, Keon Coleman, 9 catches, 122 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That was amazing. That was an amazing game for a first-time Seminole, Keon Coleman. As somebody who we can rely on as a running back, as a receiver, as a blocker, he was doing some of the knit and grind, gritty work last night. I feel like the game changed for us when we started getting into that I-form formation, but you got the 2-back system. You got a back over further to the right, or you have another back further to the left of you. We started getting into that system. We started giving Keon Coleman a couple more touches from him running the ball. He started breaking in 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-yard gains. He started getting to the second level of the defense. And as you can see, he was making the LSU defense, especially their front 7, they were getting tired out there. And when you're tired in the football game, especially when you're on the defensive side, when you're tired in the football game, you're accessible, vulnerable to a lot of big plays, a lot of big run plays, a lot of big receiving plays. So we'll see how that turns out. You know, I say I'm proud of my boys for winning last night for 1-0. So yeah, I'm team no. But I'd like to thank y'all for tuning in to the first episode of Unapologetically Male Football Basketball Podcast. Thank y'all.